Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about why level 50 weapons are the best weapons in the game for a very long time. And the reason I didn't make this video beforehand is actually because I was trying to get my hands on the right level 50 weapons to make this video. Because, I also wanted the ones that I wanted, and this server is very competitive. So if people know about what I want before I get it, it's kind of be just me making my job harder. Anyways, I'm going to stop the yapping and get into the video. There are three good level 50 weapons. Really two, but three. So let's start off at the top. The one that I personally like the most and I'm using is Punisher. Bonus damage to targets with debuff 15%. 15% debuff is basically the equivalent of two Far cards. And for those of you who are familiar with the game, Fardis is probably like the best card until around level 105 when Stefan comes out. Stefan, Spring, all those other cards that you need to, and are relatively good. Other than that, there is Destruction, which gives 30% execute damage and 2% crit rate. The crit rate doesn't really matter because it's 2%. Like, let's be honest, that's not the biggest difference. But the execute damage matters a lot because 30% execute damage is very, very big. But the reason I prefer Punisher rather than Destruction is because obviously I like consistent damage, but Punisher is just able to be used in more instances than Destruction is, although Destruction will give you better results in execute phase, like a lot better results. But overall, Punisher, I think that the consistency is just what I value the most still. So that's my current one. And the last level 50 weapon that is usable, relatively good, but not the best, but usable, third best option, in my opinion, is Demon Slayer. The reason that Demon Slayer is the third best is because while it does give damage to boss, which is the best stat in the game, and crit damage, which is the best non-damage percent stat in the game, I think, or close to it. Um, the reason that this one isn't the best is because 5% is just too low in my opinion. I think 15% debuff damage beats out 5%, 5%. However, if you're not able to get your hands on 15% debuff or 30% execute damage, then a decent third that is relatively usable and will be able to serve you for a decent bit of time. However, not as long is Demon Slayer. But I recommend getting rid of Demon Slayer if you get the chance to get Punisher or the other one. Now, why do I say this is the best weapon in the game for a very long time? Now, let me go ahead and bring up for you guys level 90 weapons. Yeah, so those level 90 weapons. And let me compare. Let me show you guys a side by side comparison. Wait, I need to. Hold on, just wasn't smart. I didn't know it would be over here. Anyways, look. While the level 90 weapons do give class damage, and yeah, they give class damage, when you actually break it down, outside of the attack that they give, 4% crit rate and 2% ignore defense does not compare to 15% debuff damage. It just doesn't compare. And yes, you can make the argument that the attack is worth it, but 800 attack versus 15% debuff damage is kind of like, would you take a Dexter over a Fardis? Yes or no? For most people, the answer is no because a lot of people are actually using Fardis longer than Dexter. So just think of it in like that kind of instance. And then the other weapon that people are using is the accuracy damage X, which again gives a lot more attack, but 1% accuracy, that's really not helping like anything. On top of that, the class damage is good, but still just not a lot to make a huge difference in my opinion. Then you've got 3% damage X, which if we're comparing 3% damage X to 15% debuff damage, is this really comparison? Like, let's be honest here. So, in my opinion, I think Punisher is better than both of these weapons, and I don't think that is relatively. I think you can maybe depending on the class, like Asura, you could say like if you're warm on a super jacked up that the attack is worth, but I just don't think that those are better than Punisher in my opinion overall. And then as for destruction is 30% extra damage, and that's even bigger number. While it does lose out on the consistency from the first 50% of the boss, the last 50% you're going to be that much stronger, like way 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 stronger than you were beforehand. So, in my opinion, I just have the level 50 weapons ranked so incredibly highly. But with that out of the way, thank you for watching. But yeah, level 50 weapons are also a good source of crystals when they reach the minimum price, which is also another reason. So when you go to equips level 50, if you can buy these things at like 2.5 mil, I think is the minimum price. I'm not 100% sure. Let me just all classes, weapon. Who has the most? 3.3, 7, 4.8. Oh, I guess this is the cheapest one for now. Yeah, yeah, but that's why I went ninja actually. 5.9 because the weapon were cheaper. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. That is why level 50 weapons are good. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I just said that 3 times.